Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Trail Mix, where the nuts might be a little stale, but the company is always fresh. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Trail Mix, where the nuts might be a little stale, but the company is always fresh.
Greg Crawford here, retired journalist working for nothing but the truth and Social Security, and our friend Jamie is here, I see. Hello, Jamie.
I have to use the avatar. I can't stand the glare off the glasses.
Oh yeah, you know I don't know how to deal. I think there's ways to deal with that, but I don't have any idea what they are. I mean,
you don't have any glare coming off of yours.
I got non-glare. These are brand new lenses, and I got non-glare, so I don't know if that made a difference or not.
Oh.
But I wanted to kick off here because I just uploaded it. This is just too much fun. This is just too much fun.
And I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States.
That was President Trump at halftime of the Commanders-Lions NFL game, receiving significant and sustained boos as he was featured on the stadium's jumbotrons.
I actually had to edit out some F words out of that one. There were a bunch.
I'm looking at all the posts on your site and contributing more than a few. And when I look at it, I get depressed all over again.
You know, I don't know why I'm just not depressed. I'm just I see we had 7 million people, hit the streets a few weeks ago. We had a blowout in the elections this week. We got leadership in people like Newsom stepping forward. I'm not saying he's the one. I'm just saying it's out there. And I think the midterms look good, and history's on our side as far as the midterms go. I don't know. I get tired of Democrats whining.
Well, I posted a potential list for 2028, so you can look over the candidates I put up and see if you want to make any more suggestions. But then I also looked at the national debt and the interest on that debt and considered health care and went, oh my, there is no way to fix this.
Well, Bill Clinton figured it out, but he did it with a big tax increase. But he did figure it out.
What I posted, take it back to 1965 and 70% on the wealthiest, and all fixed, all better. But
yeah. Well, I'm just looking over here. You say did you put a list of candidates forth, you say? Or
yes, I did.
All right. I am kind of curious. Oh, here it is. Yeah. All right. I see it. Let me make it a little bigger. Yeah, I'm ready to talk about this. I mean, I think it's not too early.
But see what I said about what they have to do if we're going to consider them for 2028?
Yeah, I mean, I have no doubt in my mind Gavin Newsom is running hard right now.
Yeah, and if anybody else wants the job, like Pritzker seems to want it.
And I think he's running. He's trying. He hadn't figured out how to break through quite like Newsom has.
Right. And I love Amy. Might have to consider her for a VP, but I don't know if she wants it. Mark Kelly.
Well, I don't know if you saw I'm ready to replace Schumer, and I want to replace him with Amy Klobuchar.
Oh, I love Amy. I have for years, but I don't know if she wants the job.
I remember you were big on her for the presidential run in 2000. What was it? 16?
Yeah. She was one of the ones I put up then, and she was a big Hillary supporter then. So,
well, and I'll come back to Newsom, but anyway, I didn't realize that Amy's 65. That's not terribly old, but I would have thought she was closer to 60 for some reason. So Mark Kelly
comes off as younger than her age.
I think Mark Kelly's kind of a hothead, to tell you the truth. He has a tendency to fly off the handle now and then that concerns me.
No, I'm just putting him up as, he really came up.
I think he's definitely belongs on a list like this. No question.
And
poor old Beto, he'd be fine if he could win something.
But he's running in Texas, and he almost defeated what's his face, but almost doesn't count.
Now, is he running again?
I don't know, but Ted Cruz certainly is on the other side.
Well, Cornyn, the black guy who ran last time against Cruz, is he running against Cornyn now, or
I don't know
what's happening out there? But anyhow, Beto, I mean, talk about he's what they call in the business world a non-performing asset.
Yes.
Sometimes you have that in politics. You have somebody who is a real asset, a real talent, but they just can't get over the finish line and perform.
Right. And that's kind of why I put him in the potential cabinet file more than the presidential file.
Yeah.
I think he would perform at a lower level.
And then what are we going to do with Kamala? What are we going to do? It's kind of like the Sound of Music. What are we going to do with Maria?
She turned off a lot of people the other time around, and I don't know. Too many
I've watched her.
The angry black woman.
Hey, Blue.
Hi, what were you guys saying?
Oh, we're Jamie put up her short list here we're ready to talk 2028. I'm raring to go. Anyway, Jamie put up a list here. We were just settling on right now. We were just talking about Kamala, and I was quoting about Kamala. What do we do with Kamala? It's like the Sound of Music. What do we do with Maria?
Well, considering she probably actually won, but never mind that. Never mind that. Did you see that Trump preemptively pardoned a bunch of people last night? 70 people.
Oh,
77. Yeah. So they're getting ready to steal the next one because Tuesday went so horribly for them.
But all of the people that he pardoned, none of them were guilty of anything federal. Yeah. And on the state level, that argument was already tried and fell flat on its face. So it was basically him making noise about something he can't do anything about.
Well, I also wonder if he's getting close to death, and so he's like putting stuff out there so that because he can't do it after he's dead. AutoPen doesn't work once he's cold.
Yeah, I've noticed you've been leading the Death Watch.
Yeah, I have been.
We got to put. We're going to put you in charge of that.
I'll bring the tater tot casserole to the wake.
Well, I did look. There are about 4 or 5 states with live cases against some of these people he pardoned them that his pardon cannot protect them. And of course, a bunch of them have been disbarred. Just about any of them who were lawyers have been disbarred already.
maybe it's a signal to anybody else who wants to jump in the fight for him that he'll do the same thing for them the next time if he's not going to be around.
Right.
I don't think he will make it to New Year's, quite frankly.
Do you really?
I don't. I don't know what they're pumping him full of on the weekends, but that pumps him back up, but that's not going to last forever. He's got big
He's
problems.
got so much energy. I mean, I can't get over how.
Yeah, but they're pumping him full of drugs. They're pumping him full of drugs at some point.
Well, he's got that.
Yeah.
He's got his former White House doctor who he tried to make secretary of what was it, or maybe administrator of the VA, and is now in the Congress. The one that got demoted.
Oh, Ronnie Jackson.
Ronnie Jackson. I mean, he's the pill pusher. He got demoted from admiral to, he lost his rank over the pill pushing that he did at the White House when they investigated it. Yeah, I think Trump's restored his rank.
And the sundowning is absolutely noticeable with the falling asleep and losing his way.
And you know what? I never thought about that with this business of how he's always up at 2 or 3 in the morning tweeting and everything. I didn't make a connection to the sundowning on that.
Yeah. Well, the other thing is too, he so if you saw pictures of him getting into his limo when he finally got to Florida, and there was some hubbub that he actually went to Walter Reed before he went down to Florida.
Oh yeah.
Last weekend. But anyway, yeah, there was something going on there, and they're like, why are there all of these security vehicles going to Walter Reed? So, but anyway, so when he got into that limo, there was video of him, and when he got in, he just like collapsed on the. It was like that was all he could do to walk down the stairs and then walk over to the limo and get in. And once he got in, he just like collapsed into it. Like, you know how when you're sick and you're tired and you just, he does not look well. So they're doing something to him, you know, like giving him an IV diuretic to get the fluid off of his cankles and away from his heart. He may have a heart pump. He's got something going on. And I think they're giving him drugs to pump him up too.
Well, he's busy writing his checks. Here's what he posted just a couple of hours ago. He said, all money left over from the $2,000 payments to low and middle income citizens. See that he's already this is the $2,000 that he announced a couple of days ago. He's going to send to everybody, and from the massive tariff income pouring in our country, which will be used to substantially pay down that. Well, there you go, Jamie. You were griping about the national debt. He's going to pay it. He's going to pay it down with tariffs.
Small detail. All of those tariffs are being paid for already by the taxpayers.
Well, and he's already said he's going to use the tariff income to send everybody $2,000. So he says there's going to be more left over.
Well, okay, so we pay more for goods, and then we get the refund. We get the $2,000 check to refund us the extra we paid for good, which at the most makes us break even because it's also
no, we don't break even because they want us to spend it for our health care, even though the only main reason for people going bankrupt in this nation is the cost of health care.
Yeah. Dr. Oz was like, did you hear what Dr. Oz said? He said that people, you know, a lot of people didn't even use on ACA, didn't even use their health care. So why should we? But that's the kind of the point of health care is you don't want to have to need it. And people are even, I mean, I have ACA because I retired early and I'm afraid to use it. And I mean, I'm having to now because of the ear thing. And it's like, oh my God. It doesn't pay anything until I meet the deductible. It pays nothing. So, and next year the deductible goes up. So next year they want $1,165 a month, and the deductible goes from $9,200 a year to $10,600 a year before they pay anything on it. It's
now,
insane.
Are you on an ACA?
I am on an ACA, yeah, because I retired early, so I can't get on Medicare yet. So eventually I can get on Medicare. So what I'm looking at doing instead is I just went to the insurance companies to see if they had like like temporary insurance for people that are like between jobs or whatever. And
Oh,
they do have that, and it's like a third of the price of what the ACA stuff is, and it's just as bad. It's the same crappy plan, but it costs less. So, so if I'm gonna have to pay it all out of my pocket anyway, I'll just go directly to the insurance company and buy a crappy plan that way, so that I have, CYA basically, that in case something happens. But I'm afraid to even use it, quite frankly. So I
Yeah.
have.
We need to get you out here to Washington.
Oh,
because,
it's terrible.
yeah, we have Apple Care out here for people like you. And the ACA goes towards that, but they supplement it. So you can buy into the really good insurance plans through Multicare.
Yeah, yeah. I'd be happy to move to Washington.
Yeah, vote
Can I
for me
pack
to
my
win
things
the
and come
lottery
now?
tonight. I'll bring you out.
Thank you. Can I come now? Oh my gosh. So yeah, it's crazy. But yeah, the other thing I see is that Ghislaine Maxwell is asking for her sentence to be commuted. And somebody got the information to Jamie Raskin, so now they're looking into that. Yeah.
Well, now, wait, really?
Yes.
That's new.
Yep. I
Not to
posted
mention
it.
that she's already getting catered meals at her country club.
But now she wants the sentence commuted, so they're working on that now.
I think we lost Craig.
I think we did too. I think he went to look at what I posted, maybe.
I hit the wrong button. You got me all worked up. I went to see what you said about Ghislaine, and I hit the wrong button.
Yeah, no, I posted it. I posted the link there at the door right before I hopped on here. It's at the bottom of the email about the pardons and also about her. And
You mean
it's on the trail. Yeah, I posted it right before. It's toward the bottom, right before I got here.
Okay. Let me get to that. Okay. Huh. I can't keep up. I mean, I wanted to get into what happened with Orban and Trump, because Orban, he gave Orban the exemptions on sanctions, which was a huge giveaway. Now that was a twofer for Orban and Putin, because he's exempting sanctions and allowing Hungary to buy oil from Russia. And it's like, I saw that pass by and I thought, I can't keep up. Okay, here it is. Top Democrat blasted. Let's see. Okay. Okay. Top Democrat blasted Trump. Asked the president, commuter sentence. So this is coming from the Independent. Okay. Well, now what is he saying? Okay, Raskin's letter. What is he getting that from? Is what I'm trying to see.
There was a whistleblower. Somebody went to him that she's getting the paperwork ready to put her to get her. Yeah, there were a couple different articles. I only posted one of them.
Oh, I see the Guardian's quoting the Hill. So here's let's see, the Hill's story. Huh. Whistleblower. Oh, come on, Hill. These pop-ups, I swear. So I'm just trying to drill into it. I'm curious, what form did her request take? What was it?
I don't know that. I don't know. I don't know that it's been submitted yet, but somebody knows that it's happening. But I mean, I think.
Okay.
I'm wondering.
Okay, there's an October 5th, says here, an October 5th email appearing to be from Maxwell to one of her attorneys, noting that she is organizing a commutation application. Okay. Well, that's one nice thing about the shutdown getting over. We can get back to chasing chasing Epstein. Huh.
Well, I mean, the government is not technically going to reopen because they're getting a lot of blowback from people, for starters. And I wonder if it's going to, because last night I think it was just cloture, I think, right?
It was strictly procedural.
Yeah.
And they're still on the House. All they've promised is to bring healthcare to the floor. They haven't promised to pass anything.
Yeah.
So, I mean, the whole thing may stay shut down.
Well, did they even promise to put it on the floor for a vote in the House?
No, yes.
In the House? I know the Senate.
Yeah, to bring it to the floor, but that was it.
Yeah. Well,
so they got nothing for it. So basically, here's the thing. The Democrats are so afraid of Mamdani and progressives that I think that even though, so we won big, but they're afraid of Mamdani and they don't want to look like that either. And so I think that's why they caved. Honestly, I think it has psychologically, I think it has something to do with the reason they decided to cave.
Huh.
I really do. I don't know. I just get this weird feeling.
Well, what's not clear to me is I know publicly Schumer was opposed to the deal, but how hard did he try behind the scenes to keep, in particular, the ones I watched was Shaheen and Durbin. Mm-hmm. I just would have thought, if he really wanted to, that he could have talked Durbin and Gary Peters at least out of this. And I just wonder if it's just a lack of leadership or effort by Schumer that these eight Democrats got away from him.
Well, I called him last night.
Did you?
Yeah. And I used 1 4-letter word. So only one. But yeah.
Well, another thing I was watching last night when I saw the deal was coming together, I thought I wanted to see what Newsom did, because Newsom's on this roll now to be party leader. And I just thought, I was just curious to see how he would respond, if he would take a side, if he would take the side of the deal makers, the moderates or the progressives against it, or finesse it. And I didn't have to wait. At 3:00 in the morning, he put out a blast attacking the deal as a betrayal. Mm-hmm. And so he made his choice. I mean, he's definitely going to be the warrior. That's the role he's gunning for.
Well, here's the other thing. They're talking about the predatory insurance companies, and it's unsustainable. And even one of my own senators saying that, it's just, we can't keep doing this because it's the insurance companies. It's the insurance companies. Okay, so go to Medicare for all.
Yeah.
Cut them out.
Yeah.
Cut them out.
It's what Bernie wants.
Yeah, exactly.
I know that's the funny thing to me. What I'm hearing now, that's the attack on Obamacare now. I actually was talking to a friend in New York this morning who he voted for Trump. I don't consider him MAGA, but he's one of those longtime, traditional Republicans who's just been duped by Trump into thinking that he's a real Republican and a small government conservative. And it makes me crazy, these Republicans who've been hoodwinked by that. But anyway, his argument, he was saying that and repeating what they're saying in the ecosystem, is that Obamacare doesn't work because the insurance companies are greedy. And it's like, well, back when they did Obamacare, there was such a thing as a public option that didn't get through because Republicans were so opposed to it, for one thing.
And Yeah.
They just don't seem to be convinced by the fact that we are the only developed nation on the globe that does not have some form of universal health care.
Yeah. Yeah.
And, well, I mean, Medicare is already in place, so it would be easy enough to just scale it up so that the payments went to the doctors and the facilities and went around the insurance companies. It's absolutely doable.
Yeah, and that is why, if you really peel it away, that is why these subsidies that are at issue now are such a big deal to Republicans, that they were so proud of being able to block extending those subsidies in the big, beautiful bill, because they see those subsidies as, and they're sort of right about this, as kind of a Trojan horse to universal health care, is that you just keep subsidizing premiums to the point that basically health insurance is free.
Yeah.
And they see that as the strategy, and I think they're right. I think that is the strategy, and I'm all for it.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's why they don't want to go back to extending those subsidies, because killing those subsidies was a big part of their overall agenda to prevent the emergence of universal health care in this country.
And even if it was managed by the health insurance companies, you could limit the profits that they were able to charge of the money received and tell them, okay, this is your management fee, have at it.
I think United Healthcare is being investigated by Congress for, I need to look that up. There's something I read about United Healthcare and Congress and illegal doings.
Well, I do know one of the things, and they're not the only one, but these Medicare Advantage companies are getting investigated for some of their shenanigans. I mean, one of the costliest to the government, something to the tune of $600 billion, is they get paid more for their patients, their customers, the more conditions they have. So, the more medical conditions someone has, the more they actually get paid. And what they've been caught doing is adding conditions, illnesses or whatever, to or like a diabetes, saying somebody has diabetes when they don't, when their doctor had, when the doctor nor the patient even knew that the insurance company did that, and it seems outrageous, but it is what they've done. And I saw one estimate that it's like a $600 billion fraud on the federal government by some of these big. And I know United Healthcare is one of those that's being investigated for that.
Well, I actually do have United Healthcare Advantage. But here in Washington, they're loaded with some extra regulations. So mine goes through the whole multi-care system, and the doctors actually talk down my conditions. They say,
they won't like that.
No, she ordered my A1C for diabetes.
Yeah.
And no, I do not need insulin. Sorry about that, fellas, but she's controlling it with diet. Thank you very much.
Well, it's like they don't tell the people that they've put these conditions on their list because they don't want to actually cover it. They just want to tell the government that you've got this illness so that the government pays them more for taking you on as
and my doctors will not say that I have it because they're the multi-care system and they are totally controlled here in Washington. So
I
kind of a balancing act.
From an email from AARP that I think I put it up on the trail, that Humana and United Healthcare are shutting down a couple of their Advantage plans and they're rolling them into something else. Oh, it was from Susie Orman. That's who it was from. And so if you want to change, this is your chance to change, because otherwise you might end up with something you don't like. But yeah. So.
And unfortunately, the two best plans that I've been offered this year were United Healthcare and Humana.
Yeah.
Well, one of the things I didn't like about the Advantage plan when I studied it, and of course it's just so much cheaper, and especially if you don't have a lot of healthcare needs, it's so great. But the thing is, there are certain things, I can't remember an example, but there are things that Medicare covers with no questions asked, and the Advantage care companies don't have to cover everything that Medicare does. And there are things that Medicare covers without requiring prior authorization. And under the law, the Medicare Advantage companies can require prior authorization for a lot of conditions that Medicare doesn't. And then they end up not giving that prior authorization. There are little tricks in the Advantage system there that are really bad for patients, and
Did you see what I posted?
in a lot of ways, I don't even think the word Medicare should be associated with Medicare. They're not really. It's really just a private insurance system that has nothing to do with Medicare.
Yeah, except that what they get paid is the allotment for Medicare. So in my case, did you see where I posted? We're getting that echo again. Did you see where I posted what the increase for Social Security COLA offset by the raise in Medicare? I'm going to come out a whole $30 a month less, or $30 a month more next year, but it's going to cost me $7 on my food allotment. So I end up with a whole little bit over $23 a month, which of course does not cover the actual cost of things, because the COLA basket that they use does not cover the main cost for seniors.
Oh, yeah.
So, every time I get across the poverty line, they move the line.
Yeah, so the Social Security cost of living increase is less than the increase in the Medicare contribution. Is that right?
A little bit the opposite, but it's like 2.3% COLA increase, and the cost on the Medicare increase goes up about $15. It hasn't been posted yet because they're waiting till we get farther into November to be sure.
I wanted to go ahead. I hadn't heard it yet. I've been curious what Hal Jeffries has responded to this. Just about an hour or so ago, he started talking, so I wanted to see a little bit anyway what he was
from the very beginning of this year. Donald Trump and Republicans have failed to deliver on their core promise to lower the high cost of living in the United States of America. In fact, what Donald Trump and Republicans said is that costs were going to go down on day one. But costs haven't gone down. They're going up. Inflation is going up. Under Republican policies, housing costs are going up. Childcare costs are going up. Grocery costs are going up. Electricity prices are through the roof. And now, because of the Republican refusal to extend the Affordable Care Act tax credits, tens of millions of Americans are about to experience dramatically increased health care costs. In some cases, their health insurance premiums will increase by $1,000 or $2,000 per year. That is unacceptable. It will be unaffordable for working class Americans, middle class Americans, and everyday Americans to be able to go see a doctor when they need one.
One thing I'll give Hakeem, he stays on message. He stays on message. We'll see where if he took questions. I just want to see how he explains. He was so firm that they would not accept just a promise to vote on the subsidy, health and premium subsidies, and now we'll see. I'm curious how he feels about this deal.
By Senate Democrats who have secured this deal without touching on health care. What do you think that this backlash could mean for the party going into the midterms next year, and also for the voters who just handed Democrats a decisive victory? Do you think that this will make them feel also shortchanged, disenfranchised, demoralized? Do you think that this will lead to a switch up?
How's
Long question.
Going to take back control of the House?
Yeah, pet peeve. I hate it when reporters ask 4-pronged questions. It doesn't help. You don't give them a multiple choice. Ask a targeted question. That's one thing Helen Thomas was good at. She would ask a targeted question. Why are they dying? These paragraph form questions drive me nuts. But anyway, this is the pertinent question here on how he reacts to that deal yesterday.
So representatives next year. I've said it before, and if I said it, I meant it. Now, with respect to the senators on the other side of the Capitol, they're going to have to explain themselves. But the overwhelming majority of Senate Democrats continue to remain in the arena fighting to fix our broken healthcare system and address the Republican healthcare crisis. This fight for us is not partisan. It's not a partisan fight. It's a patriotic fight. We're waging this fight on behalf of the American people. The 5 states that are most impacted by a...
Well, I'd say he didn't actually go on the attack against the defectors in the Senate.
But he is pointing out that the ones that are going to get hurt most are the red states.
Yeah, that's the amazing part.
So I want to see Marjorie Taylor Greene up there with him. I want to see the two of them. I want to see the two of them have a presser together. I think he's too afraid. He's too afraid to do it. She would do it.
Yeah, that would be interesting. I don't know how I feel about him. I think he's got good message discipline. He obviously has the respect of all his caucus, all his Democrats in the House, which is important. And he holds the line pretty well. But in terms of the general public, and you don't have to have a House Speaker who's a late night talk show host or anything, but I just don't know if he's the great leader we're looking for.
No, he is. To me, he seems like the human version of one of Chuck Schumer's strongly worded letters. He seems very wishy-washy, wet noodly, even though he may be saying the same thing over and over again. He just doesn't have, I don't know if he doesn't have like PR training or camera training or voice. I don't know what it is, but he's just so lackadaisical when he gives that message. He doesn't have any fire. And I don't think you have to be mean like me to have fire. But I think that he's just not very forceful or strong. He doesn't have strong messaging. I don't know.
Well, how do you feel about Newsom?
Who, me?
Yeah.
I've already done my bit on Newsom.
Oh,
I've talked to Jamie about Newsom.
Oh, well, so it's not that I don't like him, but I think when he was going out and stumping for Biden and then later for Harris, I don't know. He seemed very thirsty for power. He seemed very thirsty, like he was laying the foundation for his run more than he was helping somebody else. But I will give him credit that he has done things the right way as far as getting Prop 50 through and going to Texas after the win, and because there's a huge Hispanic vote or population in California, especially Southern California, and also in Texas. And then he goes down to Texas where there is they've if they redraw these districts, the Hispanic population does not feel pro-Trump the way they did before all of these ICE raids started. So they may have shot themselves in the foot anyway. So, but I think that that's one reason he went down there, was to take whoever the Hispanic vote was that in California that pushed through Prop 50 and took that energy down to Texas to get the energy down there too. I don't know. I just tie the two together, Southern California and Texas.
Yeah. I'm just trying to study him these days and figure out where he's. I think he's got the leg up at the moment, but that doesn't mean anything. It's so early.
Yeah, he does. And he's also unfortunately going to be tied forever to Nancy Pelosi, even though they're not actually related. It's like a short tail, once was a divorce, blah, blah, blah relation. But that they're going to tie Nancy Pelosi to him forever when he's running. They just will.
Yeah.
What was it? His uncle was married to her. I don't know. I don't remember. It was like a really short tail relationship. But they hate Nancy Pelosi so much,
Yeah.
that they'll try to use that. My favorite would be Pete Buttigieg. If I could say, okay, you get to pick, I would say Pete Buttigieg. And I don't know.
I think he's got a problem with his stewardship of the Department of Transportation and the FAA. I mean, mainly because I see how they are maneuvering to go after him on that real hard, and because that's going to be his big claim to governing skill, is how he handled that. And it's not fair, but I think they can really hang him with all these issues with traffic, not just this most recent in the shutdown, but in general. I mean, they literally have a radar system that dates back to the disco era.
Oh my God. Yeah.
And he was working on fixing it, but I don't know.
But we also weren't having the level of problems that we are now, that, the guy from MTV is the Secretary of Transportation and the head of NASA for some reason. Sean Duffy is, even Elon Musk said that, the person that heads up NASA needs to at least have a 3-digit IQ. And Sean Duffy doesn't. So I don't know. I don't like any of the cabinet, obviously. So.
Well, I pulled 35 seconds of Newsom here, which I thought he boiled into half a minute. Just the right message out of the election.
I mean, this is a historically unpopular president. His policies are even more unpopular than the president himself. In every core category, he's underwater, and he's a guy who promised to make us wealthier and healthier. We're poorer and sicker. Across the board, people are starting to realize that not only is our coffee more expensive, their beef is more expensive, but the cost of an automobile is more expensive. Since he became president, the cost of utilities, all the things he promised to solve day one, he hasn't solved. So,
I mean,
this is a historically unpopular president.
Because
the thing is, I like how he ties economics to bashing Trump. He doesn't bash Trump because we hate him and he's fat. I mean, he actually connects to an issue that's important to people, the economy and Trump, and that's the way to go at Trump. I like that little spiel he did there.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that newsletter that I've sent you from Steve Frank, if you keep an eye on it, you will see everything that they are going to attack Newsom with. because
Yeah.
it's centered in California and it's hard right maggot.
Yeah.
So
What
all
is it?
the talking points are there.
No, what are they saying?
Oh, it's Steve Frank's California newsletter that I referred to you once. I can send it again. But there was a real heavy one that came out yesterday about everything that Newsom is doing wrong in California.
Huh. Yeah. I know. That's the book I keep. He ruined California. He destroyed California. I mean, I don't know what.
I hear
is so
that
bad
from,
about
I hear
California.
that, I was going to say, I hear that from my relatives too. And they
Yeah.
all have, and they are all multimillionaires. And, I'm sorry, they sent their kids to private school. They all are multimillionaires. They're lawyers and such. And their houses are, now they bought their houses for less than what they're worth now. Now they're crazy expensive. They've all got pools and da da da. So, but somehow it's all ruined and it's a third world country there. So, some of it's racism and some of it's.
Well, I had
something and we had to work.
These defecting Democrats last night did a little press conference here. I was going to listen to a minute of that.
It's on a Sunday night. Today, the Senate voted to start reopening the government. We took a big step forward to protect the health care of tens of millions of Americans in exchange for funding through January 31st. This agreement will give Democrats control of the Senate floor for a vote on one of our top legislative priorities, extending the Affordable Care Act premium tax credits. This is important when Republicans control every branch of government. The agreement reinstates thousands of fired federal workers and provides back pay to more than 1 million others. It advances 3 bipartisan funding bills for agriculture and FDA, for military construction and veterans affairs, and for the legislative.
Well, I don't know. There again, I'm going to move to where they take some questions. Well, Angus King,
what Senator Shaheen just.
These responsible Democrats, we just don't live in a world where that's rewarded. They did the responsible thing, I suppose, to end this government shutdown, but politically, it could be stupid.
It's very stupid, especially in light of the wins on Tuesday, because it looked like Dems are doing well and Dems are fighting for the little guy, and then they just do this and just cave.
I think they tried the gambit of starving the children, and the courts wouldn't let them to bully Democrats back onto the table, and they tried first of all, they tried that whole argument that Democrats just want to give away money to illegals for health care, and that's that didn't last a day and a half, and then it was the furloughed workers, and then it's the military, but then they caved and paid the military. They finally found the bullet, the silver bullet in the air traffic, in the people stranded at airports. I think that's finally what bullied Democrats into the
thing is, once again, the rich people are the problem, because they're saying this. Some of them is Gail Disney, Walt's granddaughter, and if they took
your audio's cutting out there. Your audio's cutting in and out there.
Oh, okay. Sorry. I had my phone plugged in. That's why. But anyway, Abigail Disney, the granddaughter of Walt Disney, and a bunch of other millionaires are basically saying, and there was some nation I think. And he said the same thing. Get rid of all the private flights, because let the commercial flights go and you're fine. It's the private planes that are taking up resources. We're paying for them to land at airports and stuff too. With the exception of, I think they said Teterboro is the only one that is like, privately funded or whatever. But the rest of them, all these big ones, let the commercial flights go, and stop the private planes, because they're the ones causing the problem. So rich people are causing the problems.
See, but they managed to get. I mean, the beauty of shutting down air traffic, commercial air traffic, is that you got all those people in the airports. They're a captive audience for the reporters, and the news stations, the local and the CNNs and all. They go out to the airport and they wander around and they get all these angry people. And they get them when they're real emotional, and it becomes a visual that everyone else reacts to, and they were able to create, I think, the pressure they had been looking for on these Democrats to cave like they did last night. I think that's what made it happen.
But
I wonder though, because people don't have the access resources now to fly, to go on vacations, to do anything. And so now the people that are in the airport going, why can't I fly when I was supposed to fly, and blah, blah, blah. Now they sound like whiny little Karens. Now they sound like a bunch of whiny, I want to speak to your manager Karens. That's what they sound like now, because everybody else has real problems with food and housing and healthcare. So I don't really care if you can't go on your third vacation this year.
Right.
And if there was if there's a solution, which is simply pulling the private planes out of the circulation and letting the commercial airlines fly, why aren't they doing that? I mean, it's once again, like I said, excessively rich people are the problem.
well, it used to be that the guys at the top made about 40 times what their average employee made. Now it's more closer to 400 times what their average employee gets. And if you watch commercials on TV, the economy's fine if you're rich. There's all these lovely places to go and things to buy. But if you're just working for a living, you can't afford any of them.
Well, and that's what's driving. You're right. I mean, that's what's driving a lot of the good economic numbers is spending by rich people.
Right.
They're actually fueling the economy. But it's not like corporations are investing much in long-term growth. They're just fueling the economy with a lot of spending that is making the numbers look decent.
Well, it's that old thing.
Well, they said that like
there is no trickle down. They're just pissing on our heads.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, no, they said that like 50% of spending is from 10%, the top 10% of households. 50% is coming from the top 10%. So everybody else is buying what they need. There will be no Christmas this year. There are big boycotts and blackouts planned for, I mean, it's not going to happen because A, people don't have it, and B, this is our chance to send a message to the people that think that they can just do whatever they want to do. I mean, if we can't have unions so that we can actually have a strike, there are other ways to strike.
Yeah, you've talked a lot about the boycotts, and I tried to get into one. I didn't order anything from Amazon on that particular day, but I've come to the conclusion that I think a targeted boycott is more effective, like on ABC when Kimmel got fired.
Yeah.
If you look for moments like that to target a boycott, so that you're not doing a general boycott that can hurt a lot of innocent people, waiters and waitresses and retail and counter, people working at the grocery store. I mean, it's like the general boycotts, I'm not as keen on.
It worked. It worked for Target though, because when they got rid of DEI preemptively, and people said, "Fine, we're not going to shop at Target anymore."
Yeah, that's
And
what I
then
mean.
the black
That's
churches said,
literally a
"Okay,
targeted boycott.
let's black them out for the entire Lent." And once people change their shopping habits, they don't go back. That's the thing. It's
Yeah,
fine.
those are the
You-
those are the kind that I'm talking about that work. I'm just not in favor of this idea. Is okay. This weekend, nobody's going to buy anything anywhere. Those I don't think are very effective.
I think the blackout is supposed to be from Black Friday through Cyber Monday to just get their attention. Basically, it's to get their attention, to see how, I mean, people are going to do it before and after, but to get their attention and to see that maybe they don't hold all the power. But we really need like a big strike or something, and we don't have unions to do that, unfortunately.
But if they wanted to cut down on some costs, they could limit credit card interest, which is a lot of people have been forced to live off their credit cards, and 24 to 30% compounded, you get into trouble real fast. I mean, I figure 10% should be the maximum. If it's good enough for God, it should be good enough for the banks.
Yeah, that's another thing that changed in the Reagan years, is we used to have real limits, fairly low limits on interest rates on credit cards. And they changed that in the Reagan administration. That's when they paved the way to 30% interest on credit cards with that. And then we used to have a thing. I mean, they just basically got rid of that usury laws. We used to have a thing called usury laws.
Right.
They just are gone. They don't exist anymore.
Like I said, that 10% is good enough for God. Because when you compound it, you're paying interest on the interest. And pretty soon the amount you owe is actually smaller than the interest you owe.
Yeah. Well, that's one of those issues that when Democrats, take Wall Street money and get beholden to Wall Street, they can't make. And I think a powerful campaign proposal would be to limit interest on credit cards, and campaign on that. But you just don't hear a lot of Democrats doing that, because they're you got banks and credit card companies are big donors, but that would be a great campaign platform. I'm going to say we are going to limit your credit card interest to 15% or something.
Well, here's the other thing they're trying to do is with the boycott thing is not everybody can do it, but pay cash, shop locally and pay cash so that the banks don't get any bank fees.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Anyway, go ahead.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, I just those more generalized kind of things like that. I don't know if, that boycott of, I think that made a difference when people started pulling the plug on their Disney streaming accounts, and that's the kind of stuff that seems to really work.
Yeah, it helped Colbert when people pulled their Paramount Plus. Maybe that wasn't big enough. I don't know.
Now this is the senator from Nevada, right? So it was the two from New Hampshire that caved, and this one. Well, she had already voted with the Republicans from the very beginning on this shutdown. She and Fetterman. So so Angus King and the two senators from New Hampshire. Oh, and here's Tim Kaine. Now, Tim Kaine, I'm not saying there's a connection, but in this deal they made last night, there's something, I think, close to $1 billion that one of his shipyards in Norfolk just got. And I think there's some big money for military facilities in New Hampshire also. Because last night when I saw that part of this deal last night was 150 billion or something like that in military construction, I thought, oh, okay, let's see where that money's going.
Yeah, was it the shipyard infrastructure optimization bill?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. And I know New Hampshire. Yeah, go ahead.
No, it's okay.
Well, New Hampshire has a lot of, when I was during the shutdown, I looked at, for this very thing, and I looked at what the different states of some of these Democrats, these who might waver, what they had on the table they've been looking for. And I did find, this was a few weeks ago when the shutdown started, I did find that New Hampshire, both senators from New Hampshire have bills and are lobbying to get about 6 different, mostly National Guard military facilities in New Hampshire. They were seeking to get money for, like several million in each case. And I'll swear, you just know that must be, we'll find out sooner or later, that must be in the deal they made last night. I'm not saying they do it just for that. That is how it works.
Of robust appropriations bills and a guaranteed path forward to vote on fixing the ACA, that made me sign on and say, yes, we can do it. I had a number of Republicans on the floor tonight said, we were amazed that you got that no RIF guarantee in there. And I'm glad that we did, and we all worked so hard on it together, and I have huge respect for my colleagues who made this happen. Thanks.
Thank you. Yep.
Now the question.
On the Affordable Care Act, what do you say to your colleagues who say this isn't a fight, this is a capitulation? You're putting together, you're agreeing to a vote on a
This is
bill.
what I was waiting for.
It almost certainly will not become law, and you're allowing that.
I don't know why they don't put microphones on the reporters.
As long
in
as the
these
government
things.
shut down, the clear statement from Senator Thune and the Republican majority, and they control the Senate, the House, the White House, was we will not talk about health care with you. So there was no vote that we were going to get on the Affordable Care Act, premium tax credits. We have a guaranteed vote by a guaranteed date on a bill that we will write. Not that the Republicans will write, although I do think it's important for us to engage with them because we need a bipartisan bill that we know is going to get enacted to provide the relief that Americans need. And I think there's a commitment on the part of many of our colleagues to do that.
But there's no guarantee this will become law.
There was never a guarantee that it would become law.
Yeah.
Follow up on that, Senator, because we understand that this vote will happen, but a vote on extending the tax credits, it does not guarantee that it's going to happen. So how do you explain, though, to your constituents why it was worth it to put up this fight for so long when in the end you did not get your key demand?
Because it wasn't working. How long would it take to not get a response to say it isn't working? In other words, it's been 6 weeks. There's been the Republicans made it clear they weren't going to discuss the health care issue, the Affordable Care Act tax credits, until the shutdown was over. we tried to keep working that for 6 weeks. It didn't happen. The vote that we have, there's not a guarantee for sure. It's more of a guarantee. Here's the way I would put it. As I assessed it, there was zero chance of dealing with the ACA issue as long as the shutdown continued. Now, I don't know, 50-50, but there's a lot better chance now than there was this morning because nothing was happening and there was no evidence that another week or another 2 weeks or Thanksgiving or Christmas was suddenly the Republicans were to come to us and say, oh, we want to now talk about the ACA. If they weren't going to do it by now, what's going to change in the next 2 weeks that's going to make them do it? And that was really the assessment.
I'm trying to process that point. If I agree with it, I mean, you caved because the other side just wouldn't budge. Is that the only option they had?
Again, I would say, right, as of this morning, there was a zero chance of having a work on the ACA. Now there's a measurable chance. Will it be?
Do you guys buy that argument? I guess I could if I thought about it long enough.
You know, what we were discussing about it being 6 of one, half dozen of another, they really had nowhere to go.
Mm-hmm.
So do they try and open up the Congress and maybe get something done? Or do they stay out and cripple everything for everybody?
Yeah. I mean, all the people who are attacking these guys for caving and, and Democrats aren't standing up. I mean, you got to remember, they don't have the votes. I mean, it's like, get out there and work your butt off for the midterm and get a Democratic Senate back. That's the way to deal with it.
They would have the vote. They would have the votes if they were listening to their constituents. And I hate to say her name yet again, but Marjorie Taylor Greene has seen the only reason she's making noise about it is because she can see it's a losing case to be on the other side.
Oh, you mean they'd have the votes if the Republicans listened to their constituents?
If the Republicans listen to their constituents.
Yeah.
But they're not.
Yeah.
They went to dinner at Mar-a-Lago in February and came back and everything had changed.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's the problem. Yeah, there was some big senators conference in Florida in February, and they had separate Mar-a-Lago. And when they came back, it was like they were promised something or threatened.
Yeah.
I don't know which.
Yeah. Huh.
But
Well, the bottom line is, despite this feeling like kind of a loss that they had to surrender basically over the shutdown, despite all that, they did manage. This shutdown did accomplish the purpose of getting the health insurance issue on the table for a whole lot of Americans who weren't paying attention. I think they did do that.
Yeah.
And they made Republicans own the health insurance crisis in this country now.
Because there was
a lot more people.
Because there was no concept of a plan ever. And there still isn't one.
And there never will be. Yeah.
And there never will, because it's eugenics. We want the sick and the old to die. And then we have just people that will work in whatever way we tell them to for as little as possible. And yeah, it is like some dystopian level stuff out there. It's crazy. And
of course, with AI coming on the scene and having destroyed universities for most people who can't afford the costs. Yeah, you're sweeping up chicken shit for less than minimum wage just to survive.
Yeah, exactly. So all I'll say is I'm glad I'm as old as I am, because I do not envy my younger cousins. Oh my God. Even though they'll be fine. They'll be fine, but their families have money. But I don't envy them, because it's just yeah, one of them got a master's degree at Tulane, and she's like traveling the world now because she can't get a job. So she took
Oh,
some
really?
money. She took some money. She's like, well, I can't work, so I just as well travel while I can and put out some feelers. And so good for her. But
Well, yeah. Well, I think I'll wind this up with Stat Dude on Thanksgiving prices. I had Stat Dude analyze Walmart prices.
okay, we'll see you. See you another day.
I think next, what's next on the agenda coming up with politics? There was something I saw that was coming up, some kind of Democrat gathering that
I don't know, but
follow.
DC's got like 3 days of protests coming up, November 20th through the 22nd.
Oh, really?
Yep.
You keep me you've kept me busy with protests.
Yeah.
I went to all of them. You told me to.
Yeah. Well,
I
I'm
ended up
glad.
going to about 6.
Yeah, I was it. Oh, you went through that many.
I ended up going to about 6. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Did you enjoy them? Did you enjoy it?
I keep telling, I've got family in Boston who get all whiny and depressed about Democrats and the things going on, and I keep saying, you've got a bunch of them in your area, just go to a protest, because I'm telling you, it's the most uplifting thing a Democrat can do, or any progressive thinker, is just go to one of these things and hang out with those people and just look at their signs and listen to them. I mean, just getting in a gathering of, well, one of them I went to ended up being 10,000 people, but even the smaller ones in my neighborhood that would be like 500-600. I mean, it's just nothing more uplifting than to get around some like-minded people and realize there are sensible people out there. We're not the only ones.
Good. And I hope that there are more and more too.
Yeah. I think that's the best thing going.
Good.
Those No Kings people, they really, I don't know what their next plan is, what they're going to do next, but.
Well, I'll put it, I've got it on the thing. I'll send it to you. I'll put it up on the trail.
Yeah.
They got 3 days of activities planned. So.
Oh, are they doing that one? The one you're talking about?
I think it's the same people. It could be Flair that's doing it. I don't remember now, but there's they seem to have coalesced and kind of gotten on the same page, so that they're not all going off in different directions. So it might be more than one organization. So I'll find it for you though. But there's like three days worth of stuff going on where they're going to Congress, I think, and they're, protesting and they're doing stuff.
One of the reservations I have is that some of the speakers at these things get really over the top, and say a lot of stuff that I just think is alienating. But the actual crowds at these things, they're just more like they're like regular people that I think it would surprise a lot of people who have this stereotype about protesters to see who. Well, you could see it in a lot of the 7 million day. A lot of those crowd shots of people, they were just these weren't professional protesters by any stretch.
So George Soros didn't pay them.
No.
Oh goodness. But well, I'm going to go find that
Okay, guys.
information for you. All right. Take care. Bye,
All right,
Jamie.
you got anything else?
Bye-bye.
Jamie?
No, I think we've just about beaten this dead horse to death.
Yeah. I just wanted to put the shutdown to rest, so it's now shut down, sit down. Sit down, shut down.
You have a great rest of your Sunday, and I'll talk to you all later.
Okay, so long. And we had old Stat Dude. Where is he? I got a Stat Dude here somewhere. You know, Donald Trump the other day said Thanksgiving prices have gone down 25% because he was relying on a puffery, to put it politely, from Walmart. So I asked our friends at ChatGPT, in the form of Stat Dude, who is the face and voice of ChatGPT here at Trail Mix, to look into that little dealio, and he found something that was a little different than what had been advertised.
Walmart just announced that the cost of their standard Thanksgiving meal, this is the greatest, is 25% lower than 1 year ago.
So, Stat Dude, President Trump says Thanksgiving dinner is cheaper this year. Should we be giving thanks or the side eye?
Side eye. Deep side eye. Walmart's under $40 dinner deal works only because they changed the basket. About a third of the items, desserts, onions, celery, gone.
So they didn't lower prices, they just shrank the meal?
It's like bragging your car gets better mileage after you remove 2 tires. We priced the same 29-item basket Walmart sold in 2024. Last year, it came to about $53. This year, 61. That's roughly a 15% increase.
That's not a discount. That's a Thanksgiving surcharge.
Rest of the groceries crept up about 3%. That's not deflation. That's denial.
And the gravy's still extra.
Okay, I'm Lady Mau Mau, Craig's built-in emergency brake. If this wasn't enough for you, sign up for the newsletter. It's free, it's thoughtful, and it occasionally makes sense.